Trojan family, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, we got to talk about the spring game. Listen, you guys know I was somewhat lost in the sauce and was kind of out of the pocket, man, as it relates to my son, with his spring game. But we got to talk about USC spring game. I had an opportunity to go back and watch it, to do a little bit of a recap. And there were some great things that I saw within that game. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the number one thing first. That is the defense. We're going to get on that, and then we're going to get on the quarterbacks as well. I'm going to kind of give you my perspective, my thoughts process on how I think the quarterback position is going to unravel. And is it a done deal yet? Absolutely not. I think that Miller Moss could have sealed the deal, but I don't think the deal was sealed. However, we will use some of the things that Lincoln Riley said as it relates to Miller Moss. If he were to start right now, with the game starts right now, Miller Moss will be that guy. So we'll kind of go with that narrative, but then we'll talk about some of the things that Miller did good, some of the things that Jaden Maiava did good. We'll kind of talk about that. But real quick, the thing that really stood out to me, of course, you guys know, it stood out to everybody, man. When I went back and I replayed this, it was the defense. And when one of the things that hit my mind was, when I saw Jaden Maiava throw interceptions, when I thought Miller Moss throw a couple of interceptions, I couldn't help but to think, when I saw Miller Moss throw the interception, it was almost like he didn't see. He threw it. It was a throw that was kind of like in coverage, but I think the coverage was kind of like one of those disguised coverages. I think the same thing with Jaden Maiava, and they threw it into a couple of spots to where those guys just, when you looked at Marcellus and when you looked at both of them, Nicholson, DeCarlos Nicholson, when you looked at how they dropped back and how they were able to pick that ball off, my mind went back to Caleb Williams when he played at UCLA. And I just want to give you guys real quick before we get into this. Caleb Williams played against UCLA last year. If you remember, there was an interception thrown by Caleb. But however, he did finish that game well. He went 31 for 42, 384 yards, one touchdown, and then one INT. Usually he throws more touchdowns than that, but he still threw for 300-some yards, but it was one touchdown, one INT. Now, what is the cause to that? Caleb Williams is the best quarterback to come out of USC in a long time. We all know that, right? So I had to go back and do some thinking about this and really think of what was the cause of Caleb throwing the pick. What was the cause of Miller Moss throwing the pick? Because Miller Moss played against the number 16 team defense in the country, right? Which was Louisville. Dominated, absolutely dominated. However, when it came up to our defense, I think it's a common theme involved, which is Coach Deanton Lynn, who came from UCLA, who was the number 11, had the number 11 ranked defense in the country. It's his defense, although it's simplified for the guys that learning the defense, the guys who are running the defense, the guys who's playing in that defense. For opposing offenses, this defense is really, it has quarterbacks, I believe, lost in the sauce. And I think that was what we saw, the same thing we saw when we played against UCLA this year, and we saw Caleb throw a pick. I believe that's what we saw when we saw Jaden Maiava and when we saw Miller Moss throw a pick. I believe these guys were absolutely they're playing the scheme to a T. That's number one. So we'll talk about the defense. So that's the number one thing I think when it comes to this defense. I think it's the scheme and the simplicity that is being installed. And I think that these guys are really buying into it, and you can see it all over the field. Now, that's one aspect of it. Here's the other aspect of it. I think when you got some of the guys that are in place, such as a DeCarlos Nicholson, I think he's a game changer. The same way we talk about Eric Gentry being a guy that really stretches the field. Well, excuse me, not stretches the field, but causes the trajectory of a pass to go up, or a guy, he bats it down, and the quarterback, he's alter his throws. I think DeCarlos Nicholson is one of those who could do the same thing because he's so long, he's so tall, he covers space. He doesn't look like he's running fast, but he really is running fast. He's running with long strides, and because he's tall, he's running with those long strides. As a result, I think some of his stuff could be just kind of, underestimated. And when he gets back there, when he covers that ground, when he covers that space, when he drops back in coverage, I think it really surprises a lot of people. You saw that with a guy like DeCarlos Nicholson, and he's very, very, his skill set to play cornerback. I mean, man, you're gonna have to have a big time, big receiver just to really be able to really do a 50-50 ball with him, because that guy's just like some of our receivers, right? And so that's one aspect of it. Number two, you got a guy that you guys know. I just brought a video up just the other day. Marcellus Williams is still stating the case to be a big-time corner, a starting corner. And sure enough, he's doing it again. And I told you guys just the other day, Marcellus Williams has that it factor. It is straight up go time with everything. Marcellus Williams knows how to read the plays. He knows how to dissect offenses, and he knows how to be in the right place at the right time. Sometimes some people just have a knack for the position and knack for the ball. I think Marcellus Williams is one of those guys. That's one. Then you look at a guy like Prophet Brown. Prophet Brown is another guy who seems to just be in place. And when the ball gets tipped up, he's able to get a 100-yard interception. And, where was Prophet Brown all year? But we're not going to get into that. But Prophet Brown just seems to continue to improve. And you couple that with some of the other guys. And so those are the defensive guys. So you got Deontay Lynn's defense now. Now you got the cornerbacks and the safeties. Of course, you got Kamari Ramsey back there. You got Akili Arnold. And did I even not mention Anthony Beavers? How I saw Anthony Beavers come up a couple of times. How he not only did he bump the guy off the line, well, the running back that was coming out of the backfield, but then once the running back bumped off of him, the running back caught the ball, but Anthony Beavers was able to close in like real quick. And I just seen him. He's extremely physical, man. He's the most physical safety that we have out there. And so I saw him doing some good things as well. I saw Eric Gentry. I saw a lot of guys out there doing their thing. Easton Arnold. And so, I was very, very excited about that. So we talked about real briefly, talked about the defensive backfield, talked about a little bit of linebacker play. Now, I'm very excited. Jamil Muhammad looks like a brand new man. He's already a guy that I felt like was coming along last year. But now, you're talking about being up to 250 pounds. Jamil Muhammad, I think he's a guy that's really taking his craft very, very serious. And he's meaning what he says, and he says what he means. And as a result, you've seen the guy coming out there flying across like he's just like a man with his head cut off. And so I told you guys that after the season, I'm going to start pencil in some starters, and I'm going to get ready to start doing that. But Jamil Muhammad looks like he's going to be one of those guys. Now, another guy that really looked very, very impressive that I don't even know how he's going to be off the field. Did you guys see how Cam Fountain was coming across that line when he was on the line of scrimmage, but then he came in and made a tackle on the running back? Did you see how fast he came over there? Cam Fountain just looks different. I don't know. To me, when you're talking about the super freshmen, man, I got three of them. Well, about 3 or 4 of them right now that are super freshmen, man. And Cam Fountain, he's going to be one of those super freshmen that my God. Mama K, shout out to Mama K. She came into my live last week, talked to her a little bit on Twitter, and she just fired up as fire could be. But Cam Fountain, man, I tell you what, it's straight up go time with him. And you couple him with Braylon Shelby and some of the other guys. But another guy that I was very, very impressed with, excuse me, was Elijah Newby. He's super fast. He's super elusive. He's super explosive. It's just like this team has so many weapons right now. And for what we saw over the weekend with all of these guys on the defense, aren't these guys underrated? You guys thought USCJ was just saying that the number 18 team in the class was extremely underrated for these guys. These guys are not the number 18 team in the country. These guys are rated way higher than that. And now you guys can see it for yourself. These are some very, very good guys. And did I mention Desmond Stevens, by the way? He's looking very good. Like the freshman, I even see Marquise Gallegos come in there and get in there and do his thing a little bit. So you got some guys that are really, really moving and grooving. And so I'm very, very excited about the defensive side of the ball. And I think right now what USC is doing on the defensive side of the ball, I think it's lights out. And by the way, I saw Malik Crawford. I'm very excited for him. He was hurt. He was a freshman last year, came in, Northern California product, and he's a 6'4" corner as well. He had an interception. So, it's like everything right now, they are buying into this defense right now. And I'm still going to say this. And we didn't have Bear in there, of course. We didn't have Jalen Smith. We didn't have a couple other guys, but that gave guys like Elijah Hill some work. That gave guys like Dejan Lafitte. I seen him on the line of scrimmage. I saw Sam Green. So it gave some other guys some opportunity to get out there and move and groove. And don't get it twisted. We got other guys that are still coming in, like a Braylon Conley, who's going to be in the secondary. We got other guys like a Carlon Jones, who's still going to be in the secondary. So this team is not all the way complete. And we got Makai Sayana. We were talking about him getting ready to be on the offensive line as well. So this team is really moving and grooving. And I'm very, if it's one position that one side of the ball that I didn't want to lack, it would be the defensive side. And right now, the defense looks way stronger than the offense. That's just how I see it right now. They look extremely explosive. But I think this defense is not only going to cause it caused our team some little confusion in the beginning. You see that's where those interceptions came from. It's the disguise and then the complexity of being able to read the defense and diagnose that. It happened with Caleb Williams. I told you guys that. But I think that I'm happy about where our defense is at right now. And I think it's only going to get better from here. It's only going to go up from here. So you guys can drop those comments. You guys can tell me what you think. That is what's covered. That's pretty much where I'm at with the defense side of the ball. Now let's move over to the offense real quick. I'm kind of somewhat surprised. I'm not gonna say all the way surprised, but I'm somewhat surprised. And I gotta kind of factor in the fact that we did not have all the guys on the defensive line, but I am. To me, the offensive line, I'm excited about what I saw from the offensive line. Those players look way, way better. They look stronger. When you look at the guys that were on there on the field, I mean, they just looked like they knew what they were doing. It didn't appear to be no blown assignments. You guys can hit me and let me know what you guys think. But I think right now the offensive line was absolutely moving and grooving. And I'm trying to find out where I had this information at. But I think our defense looks Big Ten ready, man. And I think our offensive line right now is looking Big Ten ready. So you guys can drop those comments. I can't even find my own notes. But here we go. So you had Jonah Monheim. So when you look at the experience, I'll say this. Some say, we got a young offensive line, but here it is right here. Jonah Monheim with 34 starts. You got Emmanuel Pregnaw with 12 starts. Then you got Mason Murphy with 10 starts. And then Gino Quinones, he's going to have 2. And so when he comes back. So I think, the rest are going to be freshmen. Elijah Page, he only has the 1 start. And then Eleni Noah. But I think these guys are going to be good. These guys are going to be solid. They look very solid. They look like they know what they were doing. And this is year 2 in the program for some of those guys. Of course, you got guys like Cooper Lovelace as well. Keelan O'Connor that'll get in there and play some center. Michael Benuelos, he'll be back hopefully in the fall. And then Tobias Raymond and then Amos Talele as well. So we got some guys, and I think we're going to be okay as it relates to the offensive line. Right now, I think everything is good. The question is, which quarterback? We'll talk about that in a second. Give me a second on that. The running backs, I'm excited about them. Jaquavius Marks, he looks like the clear favorite to be the number 1 guy. We could probably pretty much pencil him in. It was a good mixture of all the guys. Quinn Joyner, Marion Peterson was getting a nice little heavy load. But I did like what I saw. And shout out to Brian Jackson. I like what I saw from Brian Jackson. If you guys haven't seen my YouTube shorts, look, go check out Brian Jackson. I got him on there. He shouted me out with my man J-Walk. Me and J-Walk will be getting something kicked back off here in just a second. We're going to do a call-in show once a week. We'll talk about that. I'll tell you about that. We're going to try to do it on a Saturday, but we'll talk about that. We need to get a time together. You guys can tell me what you guys think about that. But that's something that me and him discussed, just to kind of get him back in the flow of things. Because I know he's kind of busy. I'm busy. I work. He works. But we want to try to get it in at least one day a week. So that's something that me and him will do. But him and Brian Jackson and J-Walk were actually on the field. And shout out to Brian Jackson and J-Walk for representing like that. So the offensive line, I think the offensive line is straight right now. I'm good. I would rather see something on the defensive side of the ball than the offensive side of the ball if I just had a choice. Maybe one more D tackle if I only had a choice. However, I would like at least one of each on each side of the ball just to have that security blanket. A nose tackle. Bears playing the D tackle, so a nose tackle will probably be something that'll be fitting for the USC football Trojans. So that's where I'm at with that. And then when you look at the receivers, man, I got to say this about Makai Lemon. I think Makai Lemon is probably the next Amon St. Brown. And I'm just saying, we see Amon St. Brown at the game. It was crazy, but Makai Lemon looks so fast and explosive. I think he could have got the ball a lot more last year. But that guy right there, and everybody's making reference to we need another receiver, and I'm just kind of going with that narrative because I know Lincoln Riley said that. Lincoln Riley says, and I'm saying it because Lincoln knows best. But my God, when you look at the amount of receivers we got, and you look at how explosive, I'm even excited about Jaden Richardson. He looked like he had a little step once he got the ball. I'm really feeling him, the young man from Tufts University on the East Coast. He came in there originally from California, I think San Mateo. He came in there and got his ball on. He absolutely did his thing. And he looks physical. But if we need one more receiver, so be it. But right now, the way it looked, man, these guys, Zachariah Branch, Deuce Robinson, he's going to do Deuce. He's going to get the 50-50 balls. Jacoby Lane looked like he left off where he left off in the Holiday Bowl. I mean, and then, my God, Xavier Jordan, is that the next? I don't even know what is he the next Robert Woods? I don't even know. That dude is faster. I didn't realize it's Xavier Jordan. I always watch his games. I watched the 707 competition, but man, when he gets the ball, I don't know if it's just because it's in college or what. He looks like he just gets it rolling. That guy has a step on him that's just crazy. I knew it was going to be like that, but it looks like it's a little extra from this past Saturday. So I'm excited about him. So right now, USC. Jacoby Lane, did I name them all? Jacoby Lane, Deuce Robinson, Zachariah Branch, Jaden Richardson, Xavier Jordan. Who else am I missing? I said Jacoby Lane. So look, man, I think USC's in, and that's Zamora, number 44. Yeah, he's got it going on too. Shout out to him. And the tight end as well, Joey Osick, caught a couple of balls. So, man, look, I think USC right now is in a great position. And I think if our defense could just kind of keep holding right there and just get a little bit, just continue to sharpen those tools, I think that USC is going to be a great, great team. I'm still going to stick with the 9-3, maybe 10-2 record right now. But here's the question. Here, before I wrap this video up, this is what I want to talk about. I got to save the best for last. Who won that quarterback competition? Did Miller Moss officially seal the deal with the quarterback position? Here's what I think. I don't think he sealed the deal. I think because everything came out kind of shaky in the beginning, I think that they were shakiness on both sides of the ball. And it appeared that, Jaden Mayava, he came in there and started running some RPO stuff and kind of start, some nice little stuff, run plays, and he started looking real good with that stuff as well. So he settled down once he got it going. So I think the competition is still going to be going right now. And, I think it's up in the air. I don't think I can I don't think I can crown anybody right now. Like what Lincoln Riley had to say as far as if anybody were to get it right now, who would you give it to? Miller Moss, he has the edge because he's familiar with the system, of course, because he knows the offense. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be given right now. The fall is going to be the fall. So the question is, who wins this battle? And, I expect Miller Moss to win it. But right now, Jalen Mayava, in my opinion, is right on his tracks. That's where I stand with that, man. You guys can hit me in the comment section. That's my recap. I didn't mean to keep it that long. I'm about to go 20 minutes, which you guys, I know I never try to do. But that's my recap, man. You guys can drop those comments. You guys let me know what you think. You guys already know where you can find me. It's USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. Until later on, listen, I'm out of here. Everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight.